We won a game. It feels good. Welcome to Happy Old Reds. Evening, guys. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to pretty happy old Reds. There's a lot of happiness in the backstage, I can tell you that. Make sure you've liked, make sure you subscribed. You know the drill. Get your football shirts from OK Jerseys for 15 quid. I got my Real Madrid top, man.
Nice.
It's a damn five on the back of it. Use code FFTV8. You get a further 8%. Use code FFTV for a further 8% off. Scan the QR code or click on the link. Boys, 3-1. Chat 3-1. I like what we saying here. What are we saying? Like,
Finally,
it's all good.
I'm saying finally. When that first goal went in, I don't know why, but for some reason I just felt like we were going to come back and win. And there's nothing to suggest that we should have done that in the past games. But at home against Leeds, we always beat Leeds. We always beat Leeds. And yesterday, there was some miracle performances. And I'm so happy for the likes of Sangare and Hutchinson. Even Taiwo played well. I'm so happy that a number of our players have started to show what they can really do. And to come back and win after a goal down, I thought was fantastic. So well done to them. They've definitely lifted my spirits. And I just thought it was an exciting game as well. And I know some people don't care about exciting football, but I like to see exciting football as well as winning. So yeah, great. I thought it was brilliant comeback.
Well, you thought it's exciting?
I thought it was exciting, yeah. 3 goals.
Period, yeah.
I think a lot of people are forgetting that middle period of the game, man. It was dead, but I don't care. I don't care.
No, I understand, but I'm just going to say a few words, and then the boys who actually went to the game, they can jump in. But I'll say, I mean, shock horror, stop the press. Our marquee, well, not marquee, but our most expensive summer signing, turns out he's a pretty decent player, and maybe even a game changer. You know, like I say, stop the press, making news here, but hopefully now, if anything else, because he's made some really good cameo appearances. We've all been pleading for him to be starting the Premier League games. Obviously, he's not in the Europa squad, but he was a difference yesterday. So a big shout out to Amari Hutchinson, and I hope he's worked his way into the starting lineup, because I think he was really impressive. It was a game-changing performance yesterday. He did what I wanted him to do when he took the player on. I mean, what's his name? Who came on that left back? Robinson, or was it Jack Harrison? Sorry, he's Robin. Jack Harrison, yeah, he's rubbish. I was just pleading for Hutchinson to run at him, and he did. But bear in mind, I mean, we should have had 2 penalties. I think the Jesus one, he was dragged down, and they did everything they could to try and disallow that one when his foot was planted on. It wasn't just touching the line; it was planted firmly on the line. So we did everything we could to try and not give that. But I was really impressed, and there were some good periods of. There was that middle period, and we will get into that. But I think the substitutions were positive yesterday. I think it got to a point where I thought, you know, whoever blinks first or makes the first substitution may win this game. And Dyche did it, and I think the positive substitutions all were involved in the goal. I thought, again, I'm going to go on about it. I think Taiwo made a difference when he came on. And I would still like to see him paired up with somebody, but really impressive. It was nice to finish up a game and not be panicking in those last few minutes to get the penalty. Anderson taking it was cracking. It was a good way for him to see him off to his international break, and he's been an absolute star for this. One of the few players who's shone out this season. But I'm really impressed. I'm really happy for it. I'll let the boys take over. But yeah, really happy with it, and it's put us back in contention, because anything less than a win yesterday, we would have been adrift. So the win was vital.
Well, was it must win, Ant? That's a nice little segue.
Well, not logically speaking, it wasn't, because there's only been 11 games played. So obviously it wasn't a must win. But psychologically, for the good of the team, I would say it was a must win in that respect. We had to win that game to give us the confidence to be able to go on and hopefully have some more success. So in that respect, I would say, yes, it was a must win in that respect, yes.
Breaking news, clip him.
That's a bit of a change of tune from last year, isn't it?
Well, It's because it's whether you take it literally or not, isn't it? If you take it literally, then obviously not. If you take it from the point of view, as I say, of giving us a bit of hope and confidence and spirit and faith within the team itself, then absolutely. Because had we lost yesterday, our next match is away at Liverpool. It would have made that game very difficult to even contemplate. Never mind, think we might be able to scrape a draw out of. So in that respect, then yes, I would say so. Yes.
Yeah, psychologically,
the gap would start to get quite scary if we'd have lost yesterday.
Yeah, it would have been 8 points, man, to Leeds.
It was a psychological win yesterday, and it's boosted the fan base. You can see it today. I think you mentioned it in your review earlier, Wolfie. But you go in with a spring in your step. Went into the office today. All the Forest fans are smiling. We're all greeting each other, and everyone's happy. And it does make a huge difference. And obviously, like negativity can spread, positivity can spread as well. And let's hope this is a positive step. It's in the right direction. We needed it yesterday. Anything less than a win wouldn't have done. But I'm really happy, and I think it's heading in the right direction. Let's just get behind it, and let's hope that some players yesterday struck a claim to be starting after the international break, and I hope they get that chance, and I hope they prove themselves over this next couple of weeks as well. But yeah, Rob, jump in, bud.
Just what you do. I've got to say something. It might be horrible. I hope she can't hear me, and I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. But like, it doesn't impact my real life mood. Like, I was listening to my missus today. She's telling me about her day at work. You know what I'm saying? Normally when Forest have lost, I'm thinking, do I have to listen to this today? I was like, okay, listen, no problem. The world is good again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. Is it just me? Does that happen to anyone else? Am I just weird?
It affects my mood.
It
affects my mood massively. I mean, I was on such a high yesterday that the only way I was able to come back down to reality was literally to move to Derby, and now I feel a bit shit again.
Just say that. Following on from that, an awful lot of people came up to me yesterday, so thank you for everybody that came and said hello. It was really nice. The general feeling, and I was certainly of that ilk, was that I was saying to the guys, that some of the guys I met, that normally when I go down to a football match, I'm kind of springing, can't wait, and excited, looking forward to it. Yesterday, on the way to the game, people were kind of shuffling. You know what I mean? It was fear more than anything else. I would like to say a big hello to Lyndon and his lovely lady. Spent a little while talking to him. Lyndon has got the most beautiful skin you'll ever see. I mean, it's getting on, but he looks fantastic. I have to say it. And we got talking about the 70s and 80s and stuff. So that was a good chat. So I just want to say a big shout out to him and his lovely lady.
What's his lady's name?
I don't know. I should have. Yeah, it's my fault. I should have asked. Yeah,
I'll just
being very sexist, and I do apologise to Lyndon and his lovely lady.
You can't take Ant on his name. It's got to be Ant and me, because I talk to the ladies, he talks to the old men. That's how it usually works, isn't it, Ant?
That is true.
What can I say?
That is true. It's a wingman.
Quite frankly, I get rather bored of groupies, women pestering me all the time for, so I just pass them on to Ed.
He loves them. Rob loves a groupie.
I just pass them on to Ed, and he normally manages to get rid of them pretty quick. So
if Rob goes into the Trent Nav post-match, he kicks off if no one comes and says, "Are you Rob?"
I don't know.
It was amazing yesterday. My brother went in early, and I was on my own for a bit. And loads of people saying hello. By the way, I'd like to mention that the remembrance was absolutely impeccably observed, and it was very emotional.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, because I've got an important question about the game. And big up Hearts, my hometown. Rob, what were you wearing yesterday?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it was the black jumper yesterday. I didn't have the lucky hat. No, it's not lucky hat season yet. It'll come out over the Christmas period. It's still refilling with luck. It was overused last year, and then it had an unlucky streak, and it's it needs a reset, but it's going to come into play for sure.
My point is, next game you go, replicate.
Oh, what the black jumper?
I don't know, whatever you were, same pants, same socks, whatever.
Well, look, I mean,
hang on, this is important. This is important. Gordon, I apologise to you, mate. Of course, it's not all. Of course, I didn't mean all Celtic fans. I meant those that disrespected the silence yesterday. I must make that clear. So I do apologise if I've offended anybody. It wasn't my intention.
You know,
yeah, but and there's been bare times at the City Ground where it hasn't been respected.
No. I've been to every Remembrance Sunday, mate. There's never. No,
I'm not talking Remembrance Sunday in general.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the respecting the lives of the people that laid down their lives to protect their country. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing political in that. There was people of every nation, every colour, every creed. Why would you boo it? Why? All you're doing is protecting people that died in the wars. Not just the First, Second World War, all wars.
And
all wars on both sides.
And which World War did you serve in?
I haven't served in the...
I believe you.
I'll tell you what, the answer is he served in the Culture War. Shall I take over?
Anyway, I was asking about what you wore.
Right, so I want to say, because the rest of you haven't been so gracious, I would like to say thank you to Sean Dyche and to the players for finally giving me my money's worth. Finally giving me my money's worth. £55 well spent. And you know, I think we have to give some credit to the manager. I know we're still on a small sample size. He's only had 5 games in charge, but you got to remember that Postecoglou was 2 draws and 6 losses from 8 games, and to turn that around and to get 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in 5 is a massive change in direction. It is a massive change in direction when everybody's been so down. The players were so low on confidence, not knowing what their job was. Everybody on poor form apart from Anderson. So I think we have to give some credit to the management. Is he the manager to win us the Champions League? Maybe not, but for God's sake, can we give the man some credit? The substitutes were excellent.
Wait, who's not giving him credit?
None of you have even mentioned.
We ain't even started, man. We've had Andrew and his freaking Celtic agenda. And then
you find I did. I said his substitutions changed the game.
Yeah,
how is that not giving him credit?
You did say that.
Okay.
And you know, all 3 subs made a major impact. I can understand the starting lineup with Dominguez starting. It seemed like out of possession, we were almost dropping into a 4-4-2. We were organised. Leeds scored from their only chance. And I don't think it's fair for people to chew out Savona about that, because it was a sequence of things that went wrong. You know, Williams has forced the guy wide. The shot's gone through his legs. Sells has been onside. It was an excellent finish. Let's just give Leeds credit for scoring a really good goal, right? But apart from that, they didn't get near us, right? They didn't get near us. And when Sells was called upon late on, he made a great save. So I think that it's the mark of a good manager that they get the best out of your players, including some people who we maybe had our doubts about. The defence is starting to settle now. Now Murillo's back, and I think Savona, apart from his mistake, I think Savona's looking like a good player. I think he's fit right in. You've got to remember how young he is. You know, he is the age that Nico was when we bought him. So I think he's getting the best out of Savona. I think he's definitely getting the best out of Sangare. And my God, I'm really happy to say it. That's 2 back-to-back excellent performances from Sangare. He's like a boss at the moment. He's sweeping everything up. He's connecting his passes. He's press resistant. He seems agile. He seems fast. And I think Dyche has really got him fit, like really fit. I mean, the other night, he did a really rare 90 minutes the other night. And then he would have played the 90 yesterday if he wasn't taken off, you know, as a precaution for the yellow card. And by the way, Yates was a perfectly adequate replacement. You know, I think Yates' battling qualities are the sort of thing you need when you're turning around an absolute crap fest like the start of this season has been. So obviously one swallow does not a summer make, but I think that I would conclude by saying the home form which has been our problem since April, seems to be fixed, right? We've had a 2-0 win against Porto, a pretty creditable 2-2 with Man United, and now a 3-1 with Leeds, right? So we're scoring goals and we're not losing at home. And thank God for that, because that is the key to getting out of this mess.
Okay, I like what you're saying, but I think there's a bit of overglazing going on. Like,
yeah,
Leeds,
I wanted.
Oh man!
No, but,
And by the way, I'm very happy. I'm happy.
If Sean Dyche had taken over a mid-table team that was all firing well and got those results, they would just seem pretty run-of-the-mill and not that impressive. They'd seem like business as usual. But when coming in and turning around the absolute mess we were in, going through whole games without a shot on goal, despite having 65% possession, to turn that round and to just stay strong, because no one was really excited about his appointment. A lot of people moaning about who we could have had and should have had.
Carlos was.
He's just tuned it out and got on with the job, and the results speak for themselves. Yeah, it's not world beating. We're not world beaters, but we're not crap anymore, especially not at home. And with the price of the tickets, you want that sort of, I mean, I can accept defeat, but for God's sake, that Sunderland and the Midtjylland game back to back, they nearly broke me. I was so angry after that.
It broke us.
Put it behind us.
This is where I thought Wolfie. This is where I thought Wolfie was going to go with a glazing thing, but I think I'm not having a go. But I'm saying, wouldn't any decent manager be able to get a tune out of his squad? I think the fact that he's had to come in the situation he's coming, that's what I will give him credit for, because obviously the situation was untenable for the previous managers. But yeah, any decent manager should be able to get a squad, and that's
not a discredit to Dyche.
No, it's not, absolutely not. And like I said, for him to come in a situation, for him to come in a situation he has done.
You've answered your own question. You've said, would any manager be able to get quality out of this squad? Well, Ange couldn't.
Decent manager. He said he's a decent manager.
Listen clearly.
Every other manager on the planet.
Decent manager. I said, wouldn't any decent manager be able to get a tune out of his squad?
Decent.
Any steady manager. Look, all I want from Dyche this season is for us to finish around 12th, 13th, 14th and win the Europa Cup. Even if he does that, I don't want him here next season.
Same. But I got ridiculed for saying it. I don't. He's not long term. It's not long term.
Rob, you have to look at what his ceiling is. Same with Steve Cooper. You have to look at what his ceiling is.
Same with Nuno.
His
ceiling is mediocrity. That's his ceiling. Same with Steve Cooper.
His ceiling is higher
than 20 years in the Premier League.
No, I think he's higher than Steve Cooper as well. I agree with him.
This is not guesswork. This is evidential. Hang on, people. I've been very quiet.
Go on.
This is not guesswork. This is evidential. We can see what kind of manager he has been for 20 years. He's not going to change that just because he's got better players. It doesn't happen like that. Now, if he does well and gets us to 12th to 14th and wins us Europa League, it will be, thank you very much. Here's a massive truckload of cash. Thank you. Now we need to get a manager that we believe will get us playing in the top upper echelons of the league. And by that, I mean the top 8 at least. Yeah, that's mate. That's my opinion. I'm not getting on at anybody. I'm not slagging you off or anybody else. I'm just saying, for me, he is not an elite manager, and I would like my club. Hang on, I would like my club to have an elite manager now, and I don't want anybody saying, "How can Forest get an elite manager?" Trust me, we can. Right? We've got the money, we've got the ambition, we've got the players. Okay. So let's just see how we go this season. There's 2 ways. Looking yesterday, right? We were doing okay. I was disappointed with the goal purely from the fact that I didn't feel that Leeds deserved it. Savona was at fault. I was right behind there. And Savona was at fault. But as Rob quite rightly points out, we still had opportunities to prevent the goal. That is true. Okay. Anybody that thinks Sells could have got that ball is absolutely looking at it from the wrong angle. Because again, I was in Trent End, just to the right. I was literally, there was one place that ball could have gone. If it had gone 6 inches one way, it'd have hit the post. If it had gone 6 inches the other way, Sells would have saved it. It just was one of those shots. Perfect.
It was a really good goal.
I'm not going to blame Sells for that. I think Nico could have done better. And obviously, Savona gave the ball away by just being slack. He wasn't aware.
He didn't meet the ball. He just needed to meet the ball. That was it.
But I like Savona, so I'm not going. I'm not going to sort of castigate him and say he's crap because he did that. This happens, like you say, Rob. He's a young player, so no problem.
Can I just come back
Sangare,
on the Dyche?
It was beautiful to see Sangare. I'm so happy for the guy. And when he came off, he did get a standing ovation from sections of the crowd, which is wonderful to see. Now,
I did
very quickly. The subs absolutely changed the game. Omori Hutchinson was a breath of fresh air. Oh my goodness, to see a winger that's confident, that's tricky, that wants to beat his man, that can put the ball in. Absolutely, where's he been? Where's he been? So I'm really, really pleased that Hutchinson showed up. And not like you hear these other players. Well, he's not played for a long time. You've got to give him chat. No, he came straight on and did it. Yeah. So that was fantastic. The subs made a massive difference. It totally changed the game. The tempo changed, the crowd changed, everything. We needed some spark and we had it. I don't actually agree that unless he was tired, injured, or being saved, I don't know why we took Sangare off for Yates. That was a nonsensical.
The booking for that.
Yeah, the yellow card.
As he came off for half an hour to go, you can't take everybody off that gets a booking. Bookings are a natural part of the game. They happen all the time. You can't take plays off.
I don't think it was a bad decision. I don't think it was a bad decision.
Murillo was booked. Would you have subbed Murillo off?
It was a terrible decision because, as I mentioned before, Sangare is a better football player than Ryan Yates. And yesterday proved that in abundance. And what if Murillo got booked in the first minute? You're going to sub him. You can't take players off.
Murillo did get booked.
Ant's made about 9 points there.
As well.
Ant's made about 9 points there. Can I come back on some of them?
Are you going to remember him in 2 minutes? Time?
There's loads of super chats. Three things I want to say very quick. Okay. The first thing is Dyche is in the middle of his managerial career. Who's to say that he can't reach greater heights than he's reached with Burnley and Everton? He's potentially got a better squad now. And, he can evolve as a manager. People can get better as a manager. I mean, just like players can get better in the end of their career. So, and I do think he's got a higher ceiling than Steve Cooper. A second point about Sangare coming off, I think it was a sensible thing to do because there were 3 or 4 times in that game where Leeds
lost that game.
Well, Leeds broke away. Leeds broke away several times, and Sangare himself got booked for basically a professional foul, hacking somebody down. We spent, despite not having the majority possession, we spent most of the game in the Leeds half, and we were vulnerable to those breaks. And then there was one time fairly soon after half time where Leeds broke away again, and Sangare was behind the guy, and you could see him visibly backing off. And I was thinking he does need to come off, which is a shame because he was playing really, really well. Final point, which is not coming back on anything Ant said, but we haven't mentioned somebody who I thought had a very, very good game, which was Dan Ndoye. I thought he had a really good game. And I think in terms of what kind of player he is, he's not necessarily Hutchinson taking on his man and beating him, okay? But I think he does the defensive part of his job really quite well.
To shove him in defence then.
I think he's just a different kind of player. But I am going to disagree with what you said, and so did the people in the chat in the player ratings. And you may notice if you did watch Match of the Day that the BBC singled him out as well.
They also singled out Morgan Gibbs-White.
Well, so coming back to him, Morgan Gibbs-White he's gone from being consistently crap to inconsistent, which is a hell of an improvement. I'll take that.
I agree with that.
Okay, anyway, those were my 3 points.
Before you go into the super chats, mate, just couple on what Ant said there. When he made the substitution, it was 1-1 on. We weren't leading, so it wasn't like we were going to lose our lead or anything. We were 1-1 at the time. And Sangare, I agree with Rob. He was backing off from challenges. He was a bit of a liability. So the substitutions obviously worked because we ended up winning the game. And I think all three.
How do you know that we wouldn't have won 5-0 if Hutchinson had started?
We don't, but we know what did happen. I'm not talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about what did happen. So I think it was the right sub because it did pay off, and all 3 players I think made a difference when they did come on. So, Yates did what Yates does, but we were 1-1 at the time.
Yates was out. Sorry, Yates was out. He wasn't shit. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah,
Yates was average. It was average. Very quickly before you bring super chats on to address a point that Ez made. Tyler did make a difference. I'll tell you why he made a difference, because he wasn't running back to the halfway line at every opportunity, like our so-called centre forward was.
We will come on to that.
Yeah, Jesus was.
Okay. No more. You know, once I do the super chats, you're still allowed to speak after. There's no restrictions.
No, I know, but because it was on point, we want to stay on the point, innit? Go on, carry on.
Yeah. Big up to Jess, who magically appears whenever Wood or Hutchinson appears. She says with the £2, 2 words, Amari Hutchinson. We are going to talk about him in some detail in just a minute. Shout out to you, Jess. Big up to Daz with the 199. He goes, great win. Now let's beat Liverpool. I spoke to Cal earlier, and he's not that confident about it.
They've got no chest. They've got nothing to brag about.
You know what? It was terrible. I was telling Wolfie this earlier on that before the game I was all doom and gloom and with shit and that. And I said, I've got to be honest with you. When I was watching the Liverpool game yesterday, part of me started to say, and I hate myself for doing it, we might get something up there. You know, they're not that good. We've gone from relegation candidates to away at Liverpool. You never know.
Sorry, look at Villa right now. Big up. I'm pretty sure that's Stone Roses. With the 30 months, he goes, glad to see the happy old Reds are back. We are back. We are for now. Shout out to Jakeinator with the $2.15. He goes, huge fan from Chicago, Illinois, USA. Keep it up, lads. There's quite a few from Illinois. Shout out to the guys in Illinois. And thank you for the 215. Chicago, the Windy City. Gunnar Lind has become a new member. Thank you so much. And Cameron with the $5. He says, for those of you who aren't, when will you be a Dyche backer? When the new manager is appointed, bro, is my answer to that. That's where I am with Dyche. I back. People don't understand. If you don't want a manager, it doesn't mean you're not backing the manager. There's a big difference. Of it.
What's the difference? That's new.
What's the difference? Because by definition, if I wasn't backing the manager, I'd want my team to lose. Why are you like squinting your eyes? How else does a manager leave a club in 90% of the scenarios other than losing games?
Yeah, but in reality, you can want your club to win, your team to win, but still think your manager's rubbish. I mean,
exactly. If Bogle was playing for Forest, I wouldn't want him to play, for example.
Bit like a Zinchenko.
Or Zinchenko. I don't want Zinchenko to play. My camera's doing this.
Zinchenko and his camera goes, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think what you'll get from the likes of me and Wolfie is that we'll probably stop saying it's SH1 team and it's got to go. It'll change. I didn't even say it. It'll change to well done. Oh, well done, Dyche. Well done.
No, it doesn't.
That won't change how I feel at the end of the season.
I'm not going to change my mind at the end of the season. Because here's my point. This team should be pushing top 10. This team should be in the mix to win the Europa League. That hasn't changed. You can say Ange messed it up if you want. You can say Nuno messed it up if you want. You can say Dyche is getting on with what he should do. But this team,
Dyche is playing catch up, isn't he? I think it's highly unfair to say that. I mean, when Ant said if we finish 12th and win Europa, he'd still sack Dyche. Is to me unbelievable. I think you've got to give him a chance.
Agree with him.
That's this season. What happens if next season he wins the Champions League and gets 8th?
Come on, bro. Dyche in the Champions League. He's going to win that, is he?
Yeah, Dyche has done all right since he's come in. I think you've got to give him.
No one's saying he
hasn't. Crazy hypotheticals, man.
Maybe we should not concentrate
but that's the
too much on
hypothetical as well.
No, because we had a good win yesterday, and we should actually be bigging up the team.
Exactly. I don't know why everyone has to be giving about agendas, man.
No problems with Dyche.
Let me answer it, please.
He can improve. He can improve.
One at a time.
Let me answer it. Let me answer it. I may never be a Dyche backer. But does that mean I want him to fail or I want the club to fail?
I didn't say that.
While he's there.
That was my point.
I didn't say that. I just said if he wins,
I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to Super Chat, you muppet. Carry on.
If he wins,
you're lagging for me. You can't talk me. You're lagging.
But Ben, hold on, Ben. If that's the case, that he wins it and we finish 12th and you want to back him, you have my blessings to back him, bro. But you can't tell me Well, fine, back him.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I disagree.
No, you said it was lunacy.
I didn't say that.
You said something along those lines.
I haven't said the word lunacy for about 20 years.
Well, you said something. I paraphrase, but you said...
I think I called Rob a lunatic once, but that was a long time ago.
All right, one more super chat. Curtis with the $2. He goes, Sangare has a history of getting bad fouls late. He also has a history of whip cracking goals in from distance as well.
Curtis has got a history of wasting $2 every stream, man. What was that? He's trying shit again.
And also Curtis has a Sangare agenda. Okay, I need to sort my camera out. So please hit the like, subscribe.
Thanks, Simon.
It's not the camera, it's the freaking audio mixer. It's draining too much power. Anyway, let's move on to the next subject.
Which has got better cameras than that for 30 quid, mate. If you want to get on.
Trust me, it's not the camera. It's this thing here.
But you said you changed the wiring. I should have fixed it, surely.
Yeah, I didn't. All right. I want to talk on Taiwo. I think, and I'll leave you guys with this statement while I just sort this audio mixer out. I think, and there goes the camera. I think Taiwo should start against Liverpool, but that does not make me say Taiwo is a good striker. I just think his attributes will be perfect for Liverpool. But discuss his performances. I'll be right back.
Who wants to start?
Yeah, well, with Taiwo, I love the guy because, you know, I really want him to do well. And he does put himself about a bit. And he... See, my problem is, I get back to the goal scoring thing again. Same with Jesus. You know, I keep seeing so much glazing on Jesus. And I've said from day one, I need to see him score goals in the Premier League. And he's not done it so far. And yesterday, quite frankly, his performance really... disappointed me. He spent so much time coming back to the halfway line, and I kept saying, and he'd do brilliant. Don't get me wrong, he'd come back to the halfway line, he'd win something, he'd lay it off, and I'd go brilliant. But who's up front? You know, and that was my issue with him. Is he a striker or is he a midfielder? If he's a striker, go up front. If he's not, then let's get another striker in his place. And Taiwo, when he came on yesterday, I thought freshened it up, and he looked. I mean, he wasn't brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But it was nice to see him, and he looks lean, and he looks fit, and he looks confident, which is what you want to see.
That's the word, fit. And I think it's a bit like Sangare as well.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember Taiwo in our first season, and by the way, did anybody else get flashbacks to 2022 when you saw like we were closing the game out with Gibbs White and Taiwo up front? I was thinking, wow, am I 3 years ago all of a sudden? Because it was the first time I've seen that for a while. But I think fitness is key because in his first season, he was just unplayable. He was a bundle of energy. He was strong. He was fast. He was getting in behind. And then after he had that injury, I think it's taken like a year to come back from it. And I think not only was his fitness poor, but his confidence went with it. His first touch was awful for that period. But not seen that this season. And I think we maybe need to give a bit of credit to Postecoglou for picking him because, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. We didn't give him no credit whatsoever. But it's funny because I thought he was done over the summer. I thought he was going to MLS, and it's a bit like a new signing. And, you know, you need him at the minute because when you've got Wood injured, I think it gives us an option. Obviously, he needs a goal as well, but I think at the minute he looks difficult to hold back. He's pushing for a start, definitely.
With Taiwo, you got to, with Taiwo, you also got to bear in mind he had two horrific injuries last season. One where he had his nose splashed across his face, and the other one, obviously, where he slid into a post. For him to come back from those and be as lean and fit and hungry, he looks hungry. He looks like he's got something to prove. And like I said, on the previous streams, I feel like he's fighting for his career because he wasn't in our 25-man squad. You know, he got in because of Aina's injury. He is fighting for his career. You know, for whichever club he goes to. But I still would love to see somebody paired with him. I agree with what Ant's saying about Jesus. Jesus was trying to almost do the Chris Wood role and come in deep and trying to pick up the ball. And I think somebody's mentioned it in the chat already, but he was impeding MG Dub. He was getting in his way. They were occupying the same space, weren't they, at times? Taiwo was looking forward every time he came on, and I feel he made an impact. Obviously, that triple sub is what led to us getting the goal 10 minutes later and then going on. And if MG Dub hadn't got the header on, Taiwo would have picked up that cross as well from Hutchinson. So I think he was in the right place. I would like to see him with somebody. And Crypto can go on with this one, but I'd have no problem with him starting against Liverpool. That first season, it was his unknown quantity that was the surprise element, and that helped. And I think he can kind of go back to that because we haven't seen him for about a season, really. So, yeah, start him against Liverpool. I've got no problems with that. But I would like to see him with a second striker next to him. Come on, Ben.
I think obviously everyone would love to see Taiwo do well. I mean, Taiwo could somewhat go down as a Forest legend if he was to have a good season this year. I don't mind starting him. I think James just said it in the chat. Like, he's very difficult to play against because of his size and his speed. He's not the best with the ball control. But if you get him running through and onto the end of a pass, then you never know. He's got to come into form at some point. The only thing I don't want to see, because I could not stand this a few years ago, is I don't want him to turn into an Andre Ayew type player, because that absolutely sent me doolally. I do not want him to turn into a player where everyone says, oh, he's great at holding the ball up and he's strong and stuff, but he never, ever scores a goal. At the end of the day, we need goal scorers. So maybe he's better as a super sub. There are some players in the team that look like they perform better when they come on as a sub as opposed to starting, for people like Callum Hudson-Odoi, etc. But
imagine Taiwo up against Konate, mate. Taiwo up against Konate.
I'm in agreement. I would love to see Taiwo start against Liverpool. And if there's a time to try and beat Liverpool, it's now. They're having a crap run. I think they lost 7 in 10, something like that. So
5 out of 6, yeah.
The point about Taiwo is that, and we saw this under Cooper, is that whether or not he's actually scoring, the threat that he poses stops the opposition from pushing right up onto you, because if they've given him that space that he can break into, he can hurt them, and that was where a lot of his goals came from under Cooper. And as Ant would say, he has scored 17 more Premier League goals than Igor Jesus. So he is actually the one with a proven track record.
If you give him a bit of a run in the team, the players need time. So I'd definitely start him, give him a chance. I mean, if he gets a goal in, you could see him starting the game after as well. So I really, if there's one player in the team who I want to succeed, it's Taiwo Awonu.
So what is the solution with Kalimuendo then? What needs to happen with him? What kind of tactic or what game suits that player? Because I think
he might just be one of those players that's going to take a couple of seasons to settle in. We've seen some of these big signings this summer, especially at Liverpool. They're not settling. Come next season, they'll be
alone in January.
He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look fit. That's the problem.
He's too small for the Premier League. He's
not.
He looks physically like not. He doesn't.
He looks well built, mate. He don't look.
Yeah, his foot trap bothers me, and that's a confidence thing.
Messi's like 5'9", man.
I know, but that's different. He's not Lionel Messi, is he?
It's not just that. There are smaller players in the league. I think if you're well built, you can handle it. Because you're low centre of gravity. If you're nippy, then you should be able to do well against these.
Yeah, but we've seen no good performances from him. It could be a cycle.
No, I agree.
That's
why I suggested loan. Even though we're short of strikers, I still think maybe abroad on loan or something might.
If you say he's only had 2 games, I wouldn't risk him playing in the Premier League. We need points. We're still in the relegation zone despite that.
But hold on, did you guys? He's Dashfell in disguise, man. Dashfell was tonked, man. He was
a nightmare, mate. He was
lightning as well.
I know, but he was an absolute head case. He's absolutely.
No, I don't know what he was like off the field. He was crap.
Dave Bassett talks about it.
Kante is not a winger. It's different if you're a winger because you get pushed off the ball.
Kalimuendo's not a winger.
Well, he's getting played.
My point, though, I don't know if you guys covered it when I was
forward, Ben.
But my point on Taiwo, I think, and you touched on it. Apologies if you covered this off, but Jesus is coming too deep. Taiwo is holding the line higher and winning the ball higher and being kind of on the defender's shoulders halfway in their half, for example, as you saw yesterday. Whereas Jesus is starting to feel like a 10 to me than a 9.
Yeah.
Like playing in between that half space, maybe even an 8.
Together, man. Play them together. I'd love to see them play together.
Drop MGW, put Jesus in the 10. That high line Taiwo's got as well would be perfect against Liverpool. The only thing I hope he doesn't revert to is there was a game last season where he was offside about 5 times. I hope he doesn't do that, but he could.
You know what? I don't mind players being offside. It means they ain't playing that deep. That's what I'm hoping. But I don't expect him to score goals. I don't hold him there to my theory here is that he can bring, let's just say, a Hutchinson into play, a Hudson-Odoi into play, maybe Gibbs White overlapping into the box, or Jesus, whatever way you want to look at it. I'm not putting him on the pitch to get goals. I'm putting him to be physical against those Liverpool centre backs. And historically, he has given them problems. Yes, we're going back 3 years, but he did score he scored the winner, didn't he?
He scored.
He's ex-Liverpool. Well, he is an ex-Liverpool player. I was going to say, do you have heat maps for Jesus and Awonyi? That'll be interesting.
I can get those.
Whilst you're looking at that, I'd like to do another shout out. I had the best time at half time that I've had down the City Ground for as long as I can remember. Me and my brother were singing along all the old war songs because they had the ladies' dementia group singing on the side of the pitch, and it was lovely. These little old ladies singing their hearts out in front of this big crowd, people singing along. It was lovely, and well done to Forest and well done to them. And well done to me, big up to Stephen. All the words, all the songs.
And well done to Stephen, who was there as well.
Huh?
Stephen was there as well.
Stephen? Which Stephen?
The guy on the train.
Oh yeah, the guy.
He's frozen.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, no, good on him. I think he was sitting near Marinakis, wasn't he? Had a VIP.
But you know what's more interesting?
He met all the players and stuff. He went in the changing room.
Yeah, he was in the tunnel greeting them. But you know what's more fascinating, and it shows you how humble he is. Like you could see there was like cuts in his head and stuff. You know the pictures, it just looked like hands.
Completely in a bandage, wasn't it?
Yeah. But you've seen those, but you haven't seen like the cuts on his head and stuff. So
I think he got stabbed 7 times. I think it said.
All right, let me bring this heat map up for you guys. Let's see. Who do you want to see, Rob?
Well, just Jesus and Awonyi, because I mean, we saw half an hour of Awonyi, so there should be like a decent sort of sample size. It'd be just interesting to see what the difference was.
Okay, so let's make this a little bigger. So I'll try to. Too big.
It's always nice when we got some actual evidence to back up our sort
little data. Okay, so Jesus heat map, 25 touches.
It's not a lot, is it?
I mean, there's times here where he's playing at left back. It's like a few touches. It is quite deep. Some more central here, a few here. Most of his work was done around the D. Let's have a look at Taiwo. So he had 9 touches. And
he's a right back.
Can I just interrupt a minute here? Being a forward is not always about touches, is it?
Yeah.
So Taiwo, for example, Taiwo, when he wasn't touching the ball, could have been running up and down that 18-yard box, and Jesus, when he wasn't touching the ball, could have been up and down the halfway line.
Yeah, bro, I think we're all in agreement, and I think we're all in agreement that Taiwo was playing higher. But I haven't seen the heat map data. But it's interesting.
I'm warning people the way to interpret these they are touch map.
Yeah.
So you've got to be a bit careful.
So if you overlay them,
if we were going to say something about Jesus, I'd say 2 things. Firstly, he is still a young player, and we keep sort of talking about or hypothesizing about what kind of player he is. Well, ultimately, he will play in the way that Dyche asks him to. So maybe he can play further forward, and maybe he can be more of a target man. Maybe he's just been instructed to play in a certain way in the games that we've seen him. What I would say is that his goals have all seemed to come from about 6 yards out. So if he doesn't get on that spot.
But Rob, as I've mentioned on a few occasions, would the fact that he scored 8 goals in 63 games not suggest to you that he's not a fox in the box?
Sure. But when we interviewed him, or when Wolfie interviewed him, he said he was. So
he's a 9. Yeah, I said, what other positions do you play?
Yeah, but the Premier League's different, isn't it? Every league is different.
The second thing is, he needs. I think he's good in the air. Jesus is good in the air.
Yeah,
the goals he scored for Botafogo tend to be these kind of glancing header type goals, a bit like the one that Gibbs White scored. So the point is that we didn't really see, that Jesus being supplied by Hutchinson. That might actually be quite a good combo, or would by Hutchinson. So I think you're comparing. When the time that Jesus was on, he had Dominguez on one wing and Dyche perhaps on his less good side. So the service wasn't great. So, give him time, I would say. We haven't quite worked out what the best combination is for him.
Can we compare Savona to Williams? It'd be interesting to see how
Ben. Can you leave the... You're giving me bloody epilepsy again. Can you leave the...
It's not me.
Sorry, that was me.
A little longer so we can actually read them. Mate.
That was me.
It's not me.
I know. Yeah, I know it's... That's why I don't do it, because I know it's a horrible job to do. So I'm not getting on to anybody.
But okay, you wanted Savona and Williams. Okay, so Savona 49.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Very good.
Yeah, quite aggressive going forward.
He's not inverting, is he? He's doing his job.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think he's been a very good standing for a bowler.
Oh wow! Look at the
difference in touch.
Involvement. Williams there.
Yeah, but not Williams is absolutely fantastic.
Is he player of the season so far? Is Williams player of the season?
Him or Anderson?
Yeah.
Or Anderson.
Player
yeah,
of the
Anderson.
Yeah.
I just that's crazy. Like, look how consistent those touches are. That's planned. That is tactical.
Yeah.
Like, those will be the areas he's working in.
I always remember back to an interview they did with Williams where it was back under Nuno, and he said it was a time where he wasn't getting picked. It must have been Aina and someone else who was starting. I can't remember who. And he said that he went into Nuno's offer and said, "What do I need to do to become the first name on the team sheet, as in that position?" And ever since then, and ever since that petrol station chat, he's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. Now, let's do one more comparison, which will be interesting because everyone's going to say I got an agenda. So, in Dyche's touches, 42 touches in total in the match. Obviously, he's flipped to the left side, so that's why we're seeing the left side stuff, right? But if you look on the right side, again, areas here, more towards our box, not really getting to those bylines. That's
some of his crosses are great, though. I think you lot have got an agenda.
His crosses were better from the left side.
I'm positive about him. I think he's a useful player.
Let's just have a look at Hutchinson. So
can I see Taiwo's heat map? No, see Taiwo's. Oh, yeah,
rewind the stream.
Okay, and then Hutchinson.
Look at that.
You see Gibbs White versus Yates.
But hold on, this heat map can't be right because Hutchinson took the Murillo ball around here.
Yeah, but
there's one.
I don't think one. It must be cumulative and not starting one touch. Otherwise, it'd be all over the shop.
It'd be interesting to see MG Dubs versus Yates. I know Yates didn't get as long, but
Gibbs White he only had 37 touches, quite low for him in the game.
You notice how he's more on the right.
Yeah.
It's good Sangare.
Oh, Sangare was brilliant.
Yeah.
Only 38 touch. When you think about it, man, you touch the ball 38 times, you're getting paid like 60 grand, man. It's not a bad living. Man.
Can we see how many tackles everybody made?
Hey, it's even better if you haul them.
All right, one at a time. Can we see how many tackles everybody made? Okay, but look at Anderson though. Anderson's still in a class of his own, man. Look at that, 70 everywhere on the pitch. It's fantastic. Tackles.
Wow. What about Yates?
I can do it. Yates.
Come on, we've got to move on.
9 touches.
We'll be here all day.
Yeah, please. All right, that's it. Okay, so would you want?
I think that Dyche doesn't get credit for his defensive work.
Yeah, but we didn't buy him as defender, Rob.
But that's not what we're looking at him for. We're looking at Dyche to see what he can produce up the pitch.
No, but
I accept that what he does defensively is very, very good. But that's not really where I'm going to judge him.
Well, it's important. You defend as a team. If you saw that Liverpool game and Man City last night, they highlighted the fact that Salah wasn't bothering to come back and defend, and they were getting overloaded on the right. And so that's important. I think defending is important.
I know it is, but it's also important that you go forward and cross the ball. That's what his job is.
What Salah normally does going forward more than makes up for his lack of tracking back. He's never tracked back. It's not as if it's something new to the game.
Okay, what stats do you want to see? You want to see tackles, okay?
I don't want to see any more bloody stats.
I don't know what we're crying about some stats. There's your tackles. So Ndoye made 3 tackles. Sangare 2.
Anderson. Your own time, Crypto.
Hang on. So he made as many tackles as Anderson or Sangare?
Not as many as Williams.
Look, I go to watch football and I see players make tackle after tackle after tackle. And after the game, it says made 1 tackle. It's rubbish. Get rid. Don't need it.
It might be successful.
Possessions. Nico Williams lost it twice. Murillo lost it once. Hutchinson lost it once. Aerial 1. See, Jesus won quite a bit. Aerial 3. Total shots 5 from Jesus.
When I see the stats for players after a game, I thought, bloody hell, he may as well not have turned up.
All right, but we're not saying this defines the game, man. We're just looking through it.
The entire game.
Come on. In terms of dribbles, look at that. Hutchinson with the most dribbles, 2. I mean, that's not even huge numbers, right?
I saw him do more than 2 dribbles, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, he turned that guy
sorry, mate.
out.
I didn't make these stats. I'm just sharing them.
And making him sound like an Opta analyst.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the stats there. But yeah, I thought overall, boys, there's not too much to really complain about yesterday.
That was good.
Can we build on it now?
Yeah, we're Forest fans. We think we're going to win the bloody league now, don't we?
We can, and I'll tell you why. It's the fixture list. It's a fixture list. So if you look at the fixture list, Liverpool, we're playing at the absolute best time. And in any case, that game is a little bit of a gimme because no one really expects anything from that. The good point is, let's give him credit. Sean Dyche, how many Merseyside derbies has he been in? Okay, so I think that good manager for that game.
He's not won any of them, mind you.
After that, though,
the fixture I can't believe you just called Liverpool a gimme.
It's a free hit. There you go. It's a free hit.
Listen, Rob, there are 3 games where I think I'm not. I'll watch them because I'm a Forest fan, but I'm not really interested. And that's Arsenal away, Man City away, and Liverpool away.
Exactly. So having got the 3 points yesterday, there's a lot less pressure on that Liverpool game. But then if you look at the fixture list after that, there's 4 or 5 in a row that we can put a real run together before we run up against Tottenham. And then I wouldn't even say I'm that worried about Tottenham if we're on a good run by then. So I mean, what Postecoglou was unlucky in every way possible in that he seemed to be facing informed people away from home a lot.
Happy though, Rob.
Stop talking over each other.
I'm still not
lost 22 games last season. Were they all?
I'm still not making excuses for the bastard. He still lost at home to Midtjylland and Sunderland, which I will hold against him. But those are out the way now. And now that we've sort of steadied the ship a bit, we do need to put a run together. And I think that we can and we will.
I think psychologically, just quickly, yesterday was fantastic because not only did we get the win, we came from behind and won. And that has got to give the players confidence. And we saw under Nuno that although I think on paper we have a great team, by the way, but it's not the best team in the Premier League. But psychologically, that was what we were constantly told under Nuno was the big thing. The reason why they were doing so well before they fell off at the end of the season is because they were all together, they were confident, there was a good vibe in the dressing room. And I'm just hoping that after yesterday, I think we'll get some of that back.
I just want to switch on the comment. I just want to get a word in, actually. Frick's sake.
All right. I've been talking all night, so all right, mate.
All right, Ez, just before you get your word in, Curtis with another $2. He says, I'd stop wasting $2 if you invited me on. JS.
Anytime, Curtis. You know.
Yeah, you've got your new setup now, Curtis. What's JS?
Just saying.
Oh, just saying. Oh, look at Rob down with the kids. Please hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. There's like, I don't know how many in here, 500-ish. So hit the like button, hit the like button if you haven't already. Go on, Ez.
I was going to say, just on the Savona thing, everyone keeps, I mean, a lot of people have blamed him for that first goal, but they've not talked about the part he played in actually getting that equaliser, because he was the one who took the ball off the wing, brought Ndoye into it. Ndoye's cross was actually rubbish. It was just the way the goalkeeper literally deflected it right into Sangare's path, but it wasn't a good cross. He should have done a lot better with it. But I was going to say it was Savona who got us on the front foot, got us into that area, and got that goal. So he did make up for it. And bear in mind, like I think Bren mentioned it earlier, to get the equaliser so quick really settled the nerves. And we did have that period where each team was like almost feeling each other out. But then it was whoever blinked first, and Dyche blinked first, made the substitutions. Within 10 minutes, we got the goal to go ahead. And I don't think after that, as much as they tried, huffed and puffed, there was one save that Sells made late towards the game, wasn't it? I think Rob mentioned it earlier.
Dan James,
so when he was needed, when he was needed, and James, I can't stand that player, mate. He's so overhyped. But to be fair, he caused us a bit of a threat. And if it wasn't for that save, I think if they'd got back into it at that stage of the game, then anything could have happened. But to not have to worry for his last 4 or 5 minutes was an absolute blessing yesterday. But yeah, just praise to Savona for saying he actually helped us get back into that game as quickly as we did.
Not to be Mr. Doom and Gloom, but he did worry me with his pace a little when what's Goodmanson just decided to try and
that was an unbelievably exceptional burst of pace for him to go past him. Honestly,
well, that's their left back, man.
Maybe he's a very fast left back.
He went past the whole team. He went past the whole team.
I don't know. So it just looked a little bit leggy from Savona there. I'm just saying, just keep an eye on his pace. But look, Savona, as I keep telling you guys, is very good against technical wingers. I thought Akafor, I can't remember his name now. Akafor, yeah. Is the ex-AC Milan one. He was very quiet yesterday.
Okafor, you got me saying now. It's Okafor.
Okafor, yeah. It's because, buddy, I was hearing Joe say his name in his Yorkshire accent, and it just confuses me, man. But anyway, shout out to Joe. Okafor, thank you, Amit. He was very quiet yesterday, and I think Savona and technically Dan Ndoye had a part to play in that as well. I just think there's really good signs with the defense, boys. It feels more stable again.
Yeah.
And once that bleeds into the rest of the team, then they'll start to feel like, okay, if we can just remember when we were just in that Chris Wood conversion ratio last season, he scores one goal, suddenly you're like, all right, get Morato on, job done.
I would say that the back seven is stable now. I mean, leaving out, obviously Douglas Luiz is just is not someone we can count on with his injury, but that back four plus Sells, Sangare and Anderson is a real solid base. And then you're going to change what's in front of it based on who you play in, fitness, form, etc. But I want to see that back seven getting regular, muscle memory together in the same way that we did under Nuno.
Sorry to disappoint you, Rob, but don't get too attached to Sangare.
Why?
AFCON.
Oh, that's not until Christmas, is it? I mean,
that's like a month away, man.
No, maybe Douglas Luiz will be fit by then. Can we talk about Luiz? What is the situation with? Is it 15 games he has to play?
15 games. I've got a tally somewhere on how many he's played.
Is that starts? Is that games completed? Is that
that's just crosses the white line.
Just appearances, yeah.
So if he comes on for 2 minutes and goes off, that's great. Well,
does it have
if we want him, we can do that. I'm sure.
Does it have
what happened with Chris Wood that first season? Similarly, soon as he got his contract, he got injured.
This was 3.
Does it have any impact on this year's PSR? I'm thinking not, because it was a delayed transfer anyway.
Well, no, because it's a loan. It was a loan.
Yeah, we've not paid for him.
No, the transfer would go next summer. So it'd be July the 1st or whatever it opens about.
We're going to have to do something with PSR.
I'm just starting to feel like if they think this is too chronic, they may just send him back in January. And it's almost heartbreaking. It's almost heartbreaking.
Can't do that.
Yeah, but we can't carry him as well, and if his injury, if it's a hamstring,
we're
it's similar time frame to
already.
Aina. It's going to be 3 or 4 months, mate.
It's
going to be 3 or 4 months. It's a hamstring. If it's a hamstring like Aina, it's going to be 3 or 4 months.
But Dennis, with all due respect, I don't want this to sound rude, but you've not got a clue. And I don't mean that in a nasty way.
We do. He has a chronic.
I'm not making shit up.
It's a chronic
problem.
problem.
It's a hamstring injury.
Yeah,
but it's a chronic problem.
So the injury he's got right now, because you've seen the records, the medical records, that it's directly.
Okay, I don't know why you've always got to take everything to the nth degree.
Because the guy's been out for a couple of games. You're saying that he'll be sent back in January.
Okay, hold on. Juventus had to have him on a specialized program on what games he could not be involved in. Because
I'm not willing to write him off right now.
You may not care, Ant, but this is how it is.
I'm not willing to. Yeah, but you're writing him off. I'm not. Is that all right?
I haven't written him off. I haven't. What I said, it'd be a crying shame if we had to. I said it would be a crying shame if we had to. What bit of that is writing it off? It's the literal opposite. But if it's a chronic thing that Juventus couldn't fix, and Forest,
if he's injured from now until January, of course you send him back.
Yeah, but
no, it doesn't. You're missing the point. It's not about him being injured from now until January. It's about the recurrence of it. That's the issue.
What the commentator said the other day is that he basically has this issue where fluid in his muscle, something happens with fluid in his muscle and basically cramps up his legs. And it's not something that can be fixed permanently. It's something he'll always have, unfortunately. So all these repetitive injuries are because of this issue, and they have to try and keep him fit in a way that it won't happen. But obviously, it's proving to be a tough time.
No,
obviously, it's awful for his career because he's a fantastic player.
What I'm saying. All I'm saying is, can we not depress ourselves right now because we've just had a good win? We're feeling pretty confident. We've got a player with the quality of Douglas Luiz, who you are really pretty much writing off the way you're talking about him. And all I'm saying is that may be the case, but do we need to address it right now? Can't we have a bit of joy in life?
The reason, we're bringing it up.
Rob started it. Rob was talking about our back seven being solid and being in place. Yeah. So obviously Douglas, when the talk went into Douglas Luiz, do we give up on him? Yeah, and depending on how you look at it, yeah, you are depressing, son. It's you. But depending on how you look at it, we kind of got to factor without him, and we got to look at what Rob said earlier as well. 2 positive performances from Sangare. I mean, obviously we've been singing his praises and been calling for him to get a run in the team since day one. But now it seems like he's making the right people who need to notice because we've seen it on the player ratings, man. He can have a 9 out of 10 game. He'll still be voted the 6th by a lot of our fans. But Dyche is talking about him. Dyche is saying, he realizing he's making an impression, and he's not only coming to his own, getting that fitness is what's a key thing. We got to keep him fit as well, as much as any other player. He's not had a run of games.
Maybe I'm living on cloud 9, but I just adore the guy. I think he's so good that I'm not willing to just right now to say, well, if he get rid. No, I'm saying I'm hoping he's going to come back and he'll be okay. Now, listen, you're 100% right. And I always say, don't I? The best way to look at something's future is to look at the past. And yes, you're right. Whilst he's been at Juventus, it's been pretty disastrous regarding injuries. If he's like that, then obviously you're 100% right. We can't afford to have a player like that on our books. I'm just hoping that it's not like that. And I don't want to upset myself too much now. Even yesterday at the match, I said to brother, after Sangare's performance, I said it's a shame that he's going to AFCON in December or January. But at least we've got Douglas Luiz to come back. What a replacement. So that's how I'm thinking at the moment. So I don't want to be depressed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we've also got Yates as backup, so don't worry.
Oh, no, we've got Dominguez.
We've got Dominguez getting a run of games, and he's getting his form back. And yes, he shouldn't be played as a winger or wide anywhere, but if you play him in the middle, he's going to make a difference. And I think we saw some signs of it again yesterday. His closing down was good. He just needs someone to go with him.
Funnily enough, he's a Dyche type player as well. Because I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Under Postecoglou, I was worried we'd never see Dominguez again. Although he did play him, to be fair. But when Dyche came in, I thought, Dominguez will be all right under Dyche. So I'm happy about that anyway.
Well, in general, are you all happy?
Yeah.
Happy.
Relieved.
You mean in football or in life?
I don't care about your life.
There's still work to do. I mean, we're still in the relegation zone, but I think Dyche has done as well as he could have done, you know?
No, I think it's positive.
Yeah,
it's all positive. I would like to just on another point. We kind of touched on it towards the end of the last stream about maybe bringing some of these young players in. I want to see more of Abbott. You know, I want to see him getting a few more minutes, whether it's regularly getting a substitute performance or whatever. Bleed him into the team, give him that confidence. I think he's never let us down. I think he's been brilliant. When you brought him on in the semi-final against Man City out of nowhere, he did well. He did really, really well out of all the players on the pitch at Wembley. Yeah. And in midweek as well. Going on.
No, I was going to say, mate. Yesterday it was warming up down that line. You know which line I mean. It's warming up down that line, and I thought, why don't they bring him on?
Yeah,
I've got full confidence in him. Confidence in him. You know, so and he looks a prospect. He does look a prospect. So yeah, I'd like to see.
Not to be
when the time's appropriate, I'd like to see him get more minutes. But
that's the thing. When is the time appropriate?
The time will be.
We'll be games 4-0 up Anfield.
Will be games will be more comfortable. You know, will be games will be more comfortable, and hopefully, like Rob touched on, that run of games after the Liverpool game, but I would even include the Liverpool game. But after the Liverpool game, it's a very winnable run, you know, and we should be looking at positives.
Oh, what? Malmo, then Brighton at home, then Wolves away.
Yeah.
But that depends. Let's see what they do with Rob Edwards. Let's see what they do.
I think to sum up Zach Abbott, the way I feel about him, let's put it this way. If Savona got injured, which I don't want to happen because I like Savona, but if he did get injured, I've got no worries about Abbott coming on to replace him.
Yeah, I agree.
And Zach Abbott isn't just a right back. He can play centre back.
No, I know he's right. He could be a winger, mate.
I think by trait he's a centre back. I think by trait, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Look, just on this, right? And wasn't talking about Ireland and Scotland and Wales where you went.
I don't get that. I actually do not understand what that's referring to.
Right. It's about the Celtic stuff. He was talking to the Celtic chants in the memorial.
Why do I need to apply to those three countries?
I don't know.
Apologize to the three. What? I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. If I need to, I will. But I don't understand why you ask me to apologise to those three countries.
I wouldn't get him to explain it either, to be honest. We'll leave it there, man.
It must be. It must be.
I can assure you, Ant wasn't trying to offend anyone from any of those countries.
Not at all. I was just upset because Remembrance Day is for all soldiers who have been killed on all sides of all wars.
Yeah,
right?
And remember,
all soldiers on all sides of all wars. That's what it's for. It used to be for the British Army. It's not now. It's for all soldiers in all wars on all sides. So anybody that boos that is actually booing their own people. So it makes no sense, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's move on.
And don't forget, I was born in the beautiful country that is Scotland as well. Right, I'm about to jump over to Potts's channel for the Race to Europe talk. So I'm going to send you guys across there. So come in, have a chat. We're going to absolutely cook Liverpool. Who else messed up? Arsenal messed up. Potts needs a cooking, so we'll give him a cook as well. But I'll be live in a couple of minutes. I think they've already started. So keep smiling. Enjoy the international break. We'll keep the content coming your way. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. And I'll see you over. Put in the chat FFTV raid. I'm going to need your guys back up because they're going to be like, beat you 19th. Are you celebrating the win? All right, I'll see you across there in just a second. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.